How's it going? Today is 21st of June, Friday, and we are taking a look at the market, what kind of opportunities we can find. In today's video, let's take a look at, I don't know, some of the information that was sent to me. That would be a record of close to 10,000 millionaires expected to leave UK this year in a bid to protect their wealth from political upheaval. It's something that was published recently, 3 days ago or so, right? I thought it would be important in taking a look at entire data. That would be, let's take a look at how many millionaires are in total in UK. 2.85 millionaires in total. So this is how many millionaires are in total. So if that's how many people are in total and only close to 10,000 are leaving, it's not worth reading this article. I don't think it's worth if we're taking a look at this kind of statistics, right? As well as that's prediction, since expected, they haven't even left yet. I don't know. But either way, let's take a look at perhaps some infrastructure projects, right? So then we are taking a look at this project and or similar projects. We can take a look at how people can begin investing in some of those projects, right? And by investing, perhaps they can begin earning money, which would be important. I don't know what would be barrier for entry, what would be a minimum investment that this company would be looking to raise. But they're constantly doing that. I don't know, I can bring back to UK since I was taking a look at some of the investments yesterday, where one of the companies were looking to raise 63 millions, and they would begin by IPOs, initial public offering, and they were raising money for begin extracting resources here in UK. I don't know if that's worth taking a look at this example, since I'm not promoting this project. So that's not the reason why I would like to touch on that particular example, right? But either way, there are a lot of examples. So I thought let's take a look at this particular one. That would be infrastructure project, underwater rail tunnel linking Denmark and Germany to replace 45-minute ferry with 7-minute train. I haven't read this article. It might be good information, as well as how we're gonna connect those two links and how much value they might be offer to people traveling by trains, right? So for whatever reason, that's a big topic right now in the EU. Denmark and Germany are one step closer to begin linked by the world's longest underwater rail and road tunnel. Danish, okay, let's keep all the names, inaugurated the first element of the future 18-kilometer tunnel under the Baltic Sea on Monday. All this information was published 1 day ago, so very recently, right? It's not open. I don't think it's open yet, but we're working towards that. It will link southern Denmark to northern Germany and continue to transport sector's green transition. I was taking a look at some of the train tickets. We have overnight train tickets that are very cheap to travel for people who are interested, I guess. And we even had monthly memberships for train tickets. So there's a lot happening with regards to trains, right? But that will be perhaps a bigger part of movement of people. The Fachmark Belt link, which is expected to open in 2029, will also cut travel from the present 45 minutes ferry crossing to as little as 7 minutes by train. It will link road by and Danish side Puttgarden in Germany with onward connections by road and rail to the center and all Nordic countries. Should we delve deeper? Perhaps one more bit, and we're gonna progress the other articles, right? So I think we covered everything already. I think it's everything what we need to know about what's happening, right? That's perhaps they're still raising capital. I don't know about this bit, and I'm not supporting this financial. You need to think for yourself what you want to do with your money, but that was just an example. I don't know people. I don't know who's organizing this project, all these kind of things, right? If anything, I was interested to understand. We can touch on the map where this location is and what's happening within that area. Other things not necessarily limited just to this particular part, right? The reason why I thought it might be a good place to begin, there was another article in the newspapers that we're gonna jump into. It's just that Denmark positioned itself, and I think there's only three ways to leave, or either enter and or leave Baltic Sea, and that would be something that is regulated by Denmark. So I thought that we can, from there, while we're taking a look at map, we can progress into another article, right? This particular article that I'm interested in was published on 17, beginning of this week. So let's try to understand it. This article with regards to what might be I would like to give full perspective, right? And if I can, let's stay not get political if possible, right? There's a lot of things happening, and I would like to touch on 3 points, right? First one was infrastructure project where a lot of potentially taxpayers are investing right now, right? Next one, they are looking to reduce what's happening within Baltic Sea. That would be how will Denmark impede Russia's shadow oil fleet in the Baltic Sea. That's the second point, and we're gonna touch on the third point in just a second. But first, let's read this article. Denmark is planning to target him from a shadow fleet of tankers carrying sanctioned Russian oil throughout the Baltic Sea and Danish Straits. Its foreign minister, let's skip names, said on Monday, this week's Monday. The Nordic country is holding talks with other Baltic Sea states and EU members about the impede Russian sanctions dodging fleet, which said to number around 1.4 thousand vessels, including 439 tankers. Roughly one-third of Russia's seaborne oil exports pass through Danish Straits. This accounts for 1.5% of global oil supply, meaning an attempt to limit the shadow fleet supply could impact a rise in oil price and dent into Moscow's money pot. We're saying it's 1.5%. I don't think it's 1.5. I don't think so. I don't think this part is accurate. Other than that, perhaps how many tankers? Perhaps this part is a little bit more accurate. I think it's way higher based on the limited number of countries who are at the table and what countries are selling oil in the first place, how many of them are, and from progressing from the how many of the countries only are who selling oil at the scale, and how much of that oil are leaving through the straits. So again, perhaps the number should be about 15% or 20%, but not 1.5%. So I don't think this part is accurate, right? The shadow fleet is an international problem that requires international solutions, where I continue to look into the appropriate for further action targeting a shadow fleet in the EU. So we constantly, potentially Denmark is taking a look at and what actions they can take. I'm reading this article for the first time, so I thought it might be important, but I didn't realize they mislead with some of the data, right? I don't know what kind of information and where they're taking it from, but it's nonsensical, right? From there, let's progress to the next article. The last article that would be important just because of the high value one ticket item, right? So one F-16 fighter jet, it must be. It must be in millions, in tens of thousands of millions the cost, right? Depending of how many customizations and upgrades this fighter jet have received. since it was manufactured. Some of those fighter jets have received a lot of updates and improvements, right? And all this electronics cost a lot of money, depending on what kind of updates we're talking about. But either way, that's not the point, right? But the point would be we're only taking a look at Denmark, right? So that would be infrastructure, perhaps slowing down of influx of money, as well as perhaps supporting with the hardware other partners and more member countries, or perhaps future member countries in the region. That would be Denmark and Netherlands to donate up to 16 fighter jets to Ukraine, right? So I haven't read this article. Let's read this article and let's try to understand. I think this article was published in August, right? So some time ago. It's roughly about 9 months ago, so some time ago, roughly, plus minus, right? So let's touch on this article and close this video on this article. Denmark and Netherlands have announced that they will donate 19 and up to 42 F-16 multi-role fighter jets. They're expected to Ukraine. Other F-16 operations are likely to follow suit, and announcements additional donations is coming in potentially in coming months. Denmark currently owns 43 F-16s, of which 30 are operational. Okay. I don't know if these numbers are accurate, by the way, but either way, the Netherlands has 42 F-16 remaining in the fleet. An agreement was held by Ukrainian president at the time, historically, on Sunday. Ukrainian president made trips to both Netherlands and Denmark. I think that's only the part that's important. I can share more information, but potentially that would be the only point that I like to highlight. Perhaps there's a lot of other points important, right? So these countries potentially supporting defense of other countries, right? As well as we're taking a look at finances and infrastructure projects within the region. So I thought it might be interesting to touch on, since there was a lot of news releases recently in the articles, right? And let's close on that. And since we take a look at millionaires, right? Perhaps there are so many infrastructure projects that people can do their own research, and if they're interested, they can support same or the similar infrastructure projects that could yield returns for next 20 years or so. I don't know about for whatever reasons defense is important as well, right? Thanks for watching. See you next one.